The Nikocado Avocado redemption arc. Well, I've been actually quite invested in this character that Nick plays, Nikocado. So I've not actually seen this. I've discovered Kiana's channel recently, and she's really good. Please check it out if you like these investigation kind of channels, because she's actually doing a really good job in researching and getting good, viable information. But yeah, let's watch this. I'm curious what she has to say about the situation. Right.
May 19th, 2022. Nikocado Avocado's 30th birthday.
Yep.
And the day he promised himself and the world he would quit mukbangs.
Yeah, I remember watching this. He kept on saying in interviews that when he reaches 30, he will stop because he will be old enough where if he continues on, he will probably do irreversible damage to himself. And then, yeah, I don't think he stopped based on his uploads.
I'm not doing this for life. Once I hit 30, I'm done.
I believe once you're 30, that's when shit hits the fan.
When I turn 30, we're done mukbangs.
I'm going back to a healthy diet, better exercise, better routine, lifestyle.
When you're younger, you get away with it more, but once you get older, it's abuse. Literally, it's abuse.
I mean, you can argue that as you get older, it gets worse, and that's very true. But also, there's the other fact that if you're waiting to stop, you're just developing a habit, and you're sort of cementing this habit more and more and more as time goes on. And the more you do it, the harder it will be to stop when you want to. So it's kind of counterproductive if you think about it. So, hey. But I'm no expert, so what do I know?
But did Nikocado quit on his birthday?
Nope.
That day he uploaded a mukbang ironically titled, "I will never stop gaining weight." But if not now, when? In 2020, Nikocado gained roughly 50 pounds. In 2021, 25 pounds. And so far in 2022, he's gained an additional 50 pounds.
403.0 pounds.
At this rate, Nikocado would reach 500 pounds by 2024. With his 30th birthday come and gone, Nikocado's kind of at a fork in the road. If he doesn't change now, when will he? Nick is obviously conflicted. Why else would he not quit on May 19th? Fans say they'd love to see him get healthy, but Nick knows most of his viewers aren't fans. They're haters. They're here to watch someone's downfall, to feel better about themselves, to motivate themselves to not be like him.
Well, it's not... I kind of disagree with that. I don't think it's to motivate themselves to not be like him. I think it's more to do with, a lot of haters on the internet. They have, awful fucking lives, and they have serious problems, whether it be home or in their work life. So what they do is they find these content creators who is so much worse or doing something really bad to themselves, and they would watch because they think that there will come a point where these content creators who earn millions, who are extremely successful, will eventually collapse, basically, in their success. And they are waiting for this moment to happen because then that would validate them in a way that, oh shit, my life isn't that bad because look at that, right? So that's kind of the transaction that they are getting. They are basically just getting validation that the haters think that their life is shit, but then no, because look at that person, he's doing so much worse than I am, so obviously my life is not too bad. That's the justification as to why they start hating. That's my opinion. Another thing is, I don't know if you've seen the D-Fire podcast with Nick and Zach, was it? Where Nikocado literally said that, oh, the fans do care, but at the end of the day, when he did try to eat a bit more healthy, well, not healthy to my standard, but healthy to his standard, he would try to cut a few cheeseburgers back, and he would eat less during a mukbang. He would get half the views, so his view counts would drop to a actual half if he didn't eat enough. So yeah, I kind of understand, but then the argument is, are you willing to eat yourself to death? That's another one. So hey,
and without this, they'll leave. It's not an easy choice, but time is up. Nikocado must choose. Will he continue to exchange his health for wealth, or will he choose the redemption arc? Quitting mukbang and pivoting to what would be the most watched weight loss journey in history, but risking it all in the process.
If he wanted to rebrand, right, that is probably what he would need to do. That is actually a really good idea for him to to embrace this new personality, because he gained so much notoriety because of this character. But if he managed to completely transform, like, that would be a legendary comeback story. So yeah.
And is Nikocado even capable of changing at this point, or is he already too far gone?
Nikocado! We're so worried for you. We're so sorry for you. When are you going to stop? I'm fine. I'll never stop.
What is going to happen to Nikocado Avocado? I don't even want to tell you guys how much Nikocado Avocado content I watched to make this video. And I didn't want anyone else to know either, and that's why I used today's sponsor, NordVPN.
Oh, here we go.
NordVPN significantly upgrades your online security and prevents government agencies, marketers, and your internet service provider from snooping on your online
She didn't want the government to know that she was watching Nikocado fucking content.
activity. Thankfully,
All right.
no one except for me will know how much Nikocado Avocado I watched. In my opinion, it's Canadian and American Netflix, but it's huge. There are just so many more movies and TV shows you have access to. Downloaded, my connection was fast, and there was no buffering at all. Get today's and support the channel and improve your online experience.
Here we go.
Thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring today's.
Sorry, Kiana, but it's a reaction video, and not that I don't care about your, NordVPN, but yeah, I just, they don't want to watch that, I don't think.
Video.
My goal, actually, people laugh about it, but it is my goal. Watch, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna do these mukbangs for another year or two, and then I'm gonna lose weight and then do something with weight loss.
Every single day, hundreds of voices from every corner of the internet encourage Nick to quit YouTube.
This man needs to be stopped.
You choose to keep gaining weight. Why?
Now, this is actually not helping anyone. So these people telling him, stop, you need to do this, is actually really bad, because at the end of the day, if the person in question already has like a deep depression to go with that you don't know about, maybe, this is just making it so much worse. So what Nick has said about the weight loss, if that is something that he genuinely means, I think that's a brilliant idea, because yes, he probably did some damage, but if he manages, then that would be one of the most sensational YouTube stories, I guess.
For money.
You should never feel like you have to kill yourself in order to get views.
He's well aware that he is throwing away his health, his well-being, his happiness.
Yes, he is aware.
For the sake
That's
of some
true.
YouTube views.
But even if he genuinely wanted to quit for his health, is it really that simple?
I am here to wreck my health.
Nikocado's entire shtick revolves around making fun of his obesity and worsening health. For 2 years, he's been clickbaiting this descent, centering more and more of his content around his extreme and controversial lifestyle.
Well, it's not even like, it's not even that. In my opinion, it's just mukbang as a genre has been dying, because more and more people are realizing that this is actually self-abuse, and they just refuse to watch the content. So now the only viewers who are like repeatedly watch these videos are people who are the haters who we talked about. So Nikocado knows this, and he knows that in order to retain the views and to retain the watch time, he needs to feed into the haters. So in my opinion, this character became more and more sort of out there, because he knows that the average mukbang viewer isn't going to watch him anymore. It's actually the hater who hates them is the one who views these videos. So I think he actually makes content for the people who hate him in the first place, and that's why he's so exaggerated in what he's doing.
Decisions.
My spine! This is all crushing my spine! You're literally going to pass away, and you keep adding to the problem.
People come to watch the train wreck. Would people still watch without it?
And while, yes, it is like an act, in my opinion, in some of Nick's videos, you can actually see that he is struggling. So it's not just an act. He definitely, like, exaggerates it, but it's not just an exaggeration. You can tell that in some videos he is actually serious, that things are not good.
What about mukbang? Lots of people's favorite genre on YouTube is watching other people eat. If Nick stopped mukbangs and tried something else, he'd immediately lose the percentage of his audience that come only for the food. Not to mention, this niche allows Nikocado to sit down, eat, and upload every single day.
Yep.
Daily uploads add up fast. Could he really replicate that easy money in any other niche? Plus, mukbangs are Nikocado's most reliable ticket to going viral. He can clickbait the crazy food, the challenges, the weight gain milestones.
I gained 5 pounds, I gained 5 pounds, we gained 5 pounds, we gained 5 pounds.
Oh, man.
Plus, think of the windfall created whenever a big creator inevitably decides they must react to the insanity that is Nikocado's life. That's a recurring boost in views, clickable drama, and priceless internet-wide notoriety.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, drama videos on YouTube are huge right now. Like, they are so popular that there's entire channels built around internet drama. So I guess Nick again is kind of feeding onto that sort of movement that's happening right now, and it's working clearly.
Nikocado has mastered the art of enraging the masses for his benefit. The ongoing controversy of his dangerous behavior, weight gain, and over-the-top antics mean constant free publicity.
Yeah.
There's no denying that his current strategy is working for him.
Why did you steal my Takis, peasant?
Fucking hell, that's creepy. Is it just me? That actually gave me a bit of a chill. Oh my god, I don't like the voice.
He's the infamous
I
internet
did not like that voice. Fuck's sakes, man.
character crazy enough to willingly exchange his health
I'm paranoid now. Fucking hell, I didn't like that.
for money. And people just can't stop watching. And so far, we're just talking about YouTube ad revenue. What about all his other revenue streams?
Here comes the money.
He has OnlyFans, doesn't he? Patreon.
In one video, he said he sold 16,000 I identify as skinny t-shirts. That's
Oh my god, this guy is a fucking living meme.
$480,000 in revenue.
Whoa.
In just one of many styles he sells on his site. His OnlyFans, which is apparently extremely successful, leans heavily toward the stuffing/feeder crowd, who would likely not appreciate a much leaner Nikocado. And if he's really in the top 0.14% of OnlyFans creators, he probably makes somewhere close to $50,000 a month.
Oh, more. Easily more in my opinion. I mean, I heard some people make like £250,000 a month. I know some girls who allegedly claim to make almost $500,000 a month. So I think that's a bit more. And also what's interesting is, like, especially on mukbangs, I've heard stories where viewers would literally tell the content creators that if they didn't eat messy enough, or if they didn't stuff their mouths enough, or if they didn't increase the quantity, they would unsubscribe, and therefore coherently these content creators would start actually abiding by the terms and conditions that the viewers have set. So it's almost like a fetish in a way. Like, it really is a very disturbing thing that people do, that they actually make these content creators a bit more, I don't know if it's more unhealthy, but definitely look more insane in the process. It's not a nice community, in my opinion.
Month on the site. Nikocado is probably making well over $1 million to do what he's doing right now.
Yeah,
whatever you want to say about the guy, he's got a crazy work ethic and is a hustler. We are talking millions of dollars on the line for this guy, which is a massive incentive to keep doing what he's been doing, regardless of the cost to his health.
Yep.
If you found a way to make millions of dollars per year, would you quit? I can already hear people in the comments being like, you couldn't pay me enough to damage my health. And I get it, I do. But lots of us damage our health willingly every single day.
That's very true.
We'd all like to think that we'd be better than that.
Most of us smoke. Well, not most of us now, but I mean, a lot of us smoke. I don't, but yeah, I know a lot of people who do. We drink alcohol. I'm guilty of that. So at the end of the day, you know, it's a tough dilemma to put yourself in.
But when it came right down to it, a lot of us would take the money. Even some of the people who believe to their core that they would never do that, a percentage of them would also take the money. It's human nature. And it's not even like Nick kind of like set out to be this guy. It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
In 2016, Nikocado Avocado stumbled into a new niche.
It's so crazy to see him like this, and this has not actually been that long ago.
On YouTube.
So the idea of mukbang or mukbang is that, like, you eat with someone else who's lonely. Like, I think the idea is, like, I just eat and I talk to you while I'm eating, so that when you're by yourself eating, you can eat with me. So, hi, how you doing? I hope that you
He was such a different person. Like, the way he talked was different as well.
having a good day. Let's begin our dinner date, I guess. I don't know. I don't know who the frick is gonna watch this.
Some people might consider eating on camera for a living a dream job.
I remember this pissed off ton of vegans, like, at the time, because I believe this was his video when he first ate a cheeseburger after like like 8 or 10 years or something like that. And yeah, this did not go down well.
I think this is my first cheeseburger in 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And Nick had accidentally discovered what would turn out to be an extremely profitable place for himself on YouTube.
How is all of this gonna go into my body? I don't know what I'm saying. I really don't know what I'm saying. Ta-da! It is meal time. It is time to get fat.
By October 2016, he was uploading mukbangs almost every single day. And over the next few years,
Fuck. So can you imagine like stuffing your face with so much calories every single day? How do you even keep that up? Like, I just don't understand, how is it possible to do that? Like, wow.
Mukbang genre would explode in popularity, taking Nick right along with it.
Right now, you're the biggest mukbanger. You have 3 channels that consistently, you said, get over 10 million views a month, basically. Right?
On one of the channels, yeah.
And well, the other one you said gets like 8, 9, 10. The first one.
Yeah.
And the other one gets what, a couple million, you said?
Like 13. Yeah. The third one.
Crowning Nick the king of mukbang.
If I keep uploading at this rate, we'll be able to get that house we were looking at. Who knows? Maybe we can even get matching G-Wagons.
But lately, mukbang just isn't what it used to be. Creators that used to pull in millions of views per video are fading into irrelevance.
Yeah.
He Loves Life, a mukbang.
Yeah, I've actually read about this. Like, the genre is actually not. I think it's something to do with like the body movement as well. Like, people are like, whereas before it was okay to see someone like eat themselves to death and be like, oh, that's so cool. I think now it's because people are more aware of the obesity and it being the leading cause, one of the leading causes of cardiovascular diseases and strokes and everything. I think it's now it's kind of like a social political movement where they don't want to encourage that kind of behavior. So perhaps that is the reason why that stopped as it is.
Veteran with 3 million subscribers gets barely 1/10 of the views she used to. Other big creators in the genre just stopped uploading. Would putting his health on the line really be worth it if the downward trend continues? And is this a signal that it's maybe time to quit?
Yeah, possibly.
I'm gonna be 30 next year. Oh my god, Jimmy Service. I'm gonna be 30! This is my last year of mukbangs. I'm 29 today. When I turn 30, we're done mukbangs. Well, at least the junk food ones. It's my birthday! And that's what is happening to my life. I am eating on camera for a lifestyle.
October 5th is my 6-year streak of doing mukbangs, like, every day or almost.
For 6 years? What the fuck? Okay, do you know what? At this point, I'm gonna say this. I'm actually surprised that he's only like 400 pounds or something like that. How the fuck do you go eating this much every single fucking day? I'm processing this, guys. I'm like.
In his most recent videos, Nikocado seems to have lost the passion he once had.
Of course he
I mean,
fucking
after
did.
6 years and over 200 pounds of weight gain, how could you not lose your passion? No.
How does he not have diabetes? I'm sorry to keep interrupting. My brain is going like super speed right now. 6 years, every single day you do this. How do you not have like diabetes? Is my question. Or maybe he does, and that's why he's healthy. I don't want to assume. I hope he doesn't. Like, I really do. I don't wish that on anyone, to be honest.
No matter how much you enjoy it, eventually, fast food all starts to taste pretty disappointing. And there's something about Nikocado lately that just doesn't feel the same. His videos feel less creative, his energy level's lower, and he often shows up seeming kind of sad. Maybe it's because during an honest-sounding interview posted to James Marriott's channel in 2020, Nick was adamant that he'd never hit the 400-pound milestone.
I wanted to know, what is the reason
he has, though, hasn't he?
behind 300 pounds? Why is it 300 pounds the benchmark?
Well, 300 because that's the closest thing I'm to. Like, I'm not gonna do 400, that's too far.
Nick has said before that with each increment of weight gain, life gets a little bit worse for him.
Every time you go up another milestone, 300, 310, 320, 330, 340, 350, 360. Every increment, everything becomes harder.
And that's sad about this. He's actually self-aware of what he's doing, and he realizes that this is actually something that, you know, it's physically and mentally hurting him, and I don't know if he feels like he needs to do this for financial reasons, or maybe he just, like, at this stage he can't stop. Maybe both. Who knows?
You have no more energy. It's harder for you to do everything.
For years, Nick claimed that the day he turned 30, he would stop doing mukbang forever. And on June 26, 2022, 38 days after his 30th birthday, Nikocado suddenly stopped uploading.
Oh.
The internet thought he had finally quit.
Okay, I knew nothing about this. Hold on.
Yet on August 5th, 2022, he returned.
Oh, he came back. Oh, so this was this year. Okay, I had no idea about this.
While so much of Nick's persona is fake, there's one thing that's very real. The daily assault to his body and the 200 pounds of weight gain. He might be in on the joke, but he still has to suffer the consequences.
This was when he stayed with Zach, wasn't it?
On a real level, how do you cope with making content that out there and that emotive?
I don't. I don't.
At the beginning of Nikocado's fame, as he started to get really into the antics that we know him for today, a lot of people were concerned that everything we saw on camera was real. But we all know by now that Nikocado Avocado is somewhat of a character.
I am the villain. I make myself one. And people will consume these stories year after year after year. Stories that are deliberately made to blur the boundaries.
And that makes sense because obviously people want the drama within the video. They want something to come back for. It's almost like it's basically what soap operas basically live on, like, you know. But you also have to understand that if you're actually doing this as a job and you're doing it like chronically, like consistently every single day, eventually this will have an effect on your mental health. You know, playing a character, as you say, will have, as he says, will blur the boundaries between what's real and what's not. So his Nikocado character will eventually, and I think it already has, kind of sneak back into actual Nick's real life personality, and the two will become one. I think we've seen that with other content creators where they believed a lie or they believed something so much that they would actually start believing it to be true, or at least became delusional about what the truth is. So yeah, I don't know if that's such a good strategy to do for a longer period of time anyway.
Between fact and fiction.
You learn very quickly on YouTube that negativity, drama, hate pays. And Nikocado isn't afraid to leverage those things against himself to get you to watch.
I'm disabled! He is uploading a series about why he is currently disabled.
I remember this had such backlash because obviously like you go a bit too far when you're bringing disabled people into your fictional drama. Obviously it's not fictional because at the end of the day, yes, obesity can be seen. I don't want to say it. I don't know if it is a disability or not, but I mean, I think excess morbid obesity is a form of disability, in my opinion. Like when it affects your mobility, I think it turns into one. But don't quote me on that because again, I live in England and this is America, so maybe the rules there are different. I don't know.
He's bringing disabilities and people with disabilities, disabled people, into his trolling.
He is like now disabled. It is the
not
difference.
Cool.
Yeah, not cool.
Right.
Resulting in a sort of online infamy, an anti-fan base built mostly of people who want to watch the train wreck. But here's the thing, as Nikocado continues to up the ante, to behave like this, almost every single day for years, stuffing his face and putting so much emotion into each video, purposely making himself a laughingstock and watching the disdain roll in with each viral stunt and notch on his belt.
Well,
even though he's choosing this, he created this clickbait persona, there's no stopping the force of the physical and psychological toll of this job.
It's so fun, but it has consequences that's not really talked about in society. It has consequences to your existence in your head. It alters the way you think.
It's sad though because I do believe a lot of people do judge him just like, oh, you make millions, so just shut the fuck up and blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm not defending him because at the end of the day, he created the monster, but eventually the monster does take over. And when it does, and it takes you over, like, you have very little control. So in my opinion, at this stage, Nick is actually a victim of the monster that he created in the first place. It's like a Inception, but in reality.
And the way you feel.
I already talked about what fast food does to your brain in this video on Nikocado, if you haven't seen it yet. And we're really not just talking about the physical effects, it's the psychological effects. A study published in 2019 shows that actors' sense of self are profoundly changed by the characters that they play. Brain scans demonstrate that actors quite literally lose themselves in the characters they play. The lines between truth and fiction become blurry, and chaos on screen can quickly translate to chaos of the mind.
Well, this is a great example. Like, Heath Ledger have died from an overdose because he isolated himself so much when becoming the Joker that he literally became antisocial. He got addicted on drugs. I'm not too sure if he did drugs before the role, but I do know that it affected him mentally a lot, and then that could correspond to his overdose. I'm not too sure about that either, but I have heard people talk regarding that this role actually killed him because he wanted it so perfect that he did transform into a sociopath, essentially.
That is to say that, orchestrated or not, there's not just a physical cost to doing this job, but doing this on the internet for an extended period of time is probably making Nick feel awful.
Yeah.
And although people write him off as a moron, he's way more self-aware than people give him credit for. And therefore is probably deeply conflicted about his current employment.
This has been the greatest social experiment I've come to know.
Okay.
I'm really smart. And the funny thing is, no one thinks it.
How long can someone really go knowingly harming themselves before they have to stop?
I mean, you're talking to someone that was a health nut. I was a health nut for years. Was on this path and I just fell off the cliff. So that's what makes my story so much more alarming, funny, interesting, disgusting, whatever you want to call it.
And this actually resembles someone who, exactly as she said, so self-aware and completely realizing the situation that he's in. And it's really hard to tell when Nick is actually trolling and when he's actually being serious about it. And because it's hard to tell, the fans and possibly his friends or maybe even family don't actually know when to intervene. Like, where is the breaking point? And this could then lead to more serious concerns. But again, that's an if and a when, and if, you know. Anyway, I'm just rambling on.
Some people think that Nikocado is a mindless glutton, an idiot, and all that he knows is crap food. The thing is, there is a lot of evidence that Nikocado is extremely health conscious. Oh yeah, you heard me right. I said Nikocado Avocado is health conscious.
Remember, I came to veganism from a health perspective.
And also, it was walking a fine line. I'm walking a fine line now with my...
And that's also interesting. It's like, when he was a vegan, like, as you can see on that, that's almost like anorexia. Like, that is so thin, right? And then when he turned, he went completely bonkers with food. So it's like having like an obsessive behavior disorder where you obsess over a behavior and then you go to the extreme, and it doesn't matter which extreme it is, it can be either side, but you would gravitate to each, and you can't exist in the healthy middle. You have to be either this or this, but you can't, it's not like a spectrum, it's like a black and white kind of portrait. So interesting. I never actually thought about that, but it makes sense.
Health, clearly. But I was walking a fine line back then, too, with on the other side, you know. We weren't even adding salt to our food for a period of time. That is dangerous.
Though he doesn't claim to be healthy, Nick has been curious and knowledgeable about health for a long time. If you watch enough of his content, you'll find him trying to mitigate the damage he's causing his body with things like collard greens and berries immediately after or even during filming. He also works with a dietitian.
Aren't you concerned? Aren't you worried? No, I'm not. Because...
I mean, I would argue whether, like, actually eating berries right after you ate 10,000 calories is gonna do anything but give even more calories that your liver and your stomach and your organs have to, you know, struggle with. I don't think that's how that would work. So would I say that would I say that he's conscious about the health and the lifestyle of healthy eating? I mean, I'm not doubting that he knows something about it, because obviously he was vegan. So, I mean, I'm not saying vegan is like the most optimal diet either, but I don't think that that's evidence that he's like aware of healthy eating, in my opinion.
I eat fruits and vegetables, and I take extra vitamins, and I have a dietitian who is working with me to make sure everything's good, so mind your business.
Nick is self-aware and insightful, and
also, like, having so much sodium and so much... So, fast food is built on sodium, sugar, and fat. That's basically it is. Sodium and sugar is... those are basically addictive substances, right? And the carb and the fat... Carb basically get broken down into glucose. Sugar gets broken down to glucose. So, basically, you're just taking even more glucose into your system. And then your body releases a fuck ton of adrenaline... insulin into your bloodstream to counter the amount of glucose in there. And you do this long enough, your body will flood your system with insulin all the time, because it will just expect it to need it, to the point where you will never be able to raise the sugar level in your blood, because you just have too much insulin in it. And I believe that's how type 2 diabetes starts, where your body is not able to balance the insulin production anymore, because you just exhausted it too much. So at that point, I don't think, I don't know. It's very hard, very difficult. As I said, I'm no expert, so I don't know exactly when it's irreversible. But I don't know if once your insulin balance is unbalanced, I don't know if that can be fixed. And I'm not too sure if Nick's insulin balance where it is. Obviously, I'm just saying 6 years of eating fast food every single day is questionable, whether he has problems or not. And if he has a dietitian, I don't know if he's doing his job to the extent where he should be.
His brief moments of realness are often endearing and witty, meaning that Nick is certainly painfully aware of the damage that he's doing his body. The cognitive dissonance must be too real. And he's likely also aware that if he keeps going the way he's going, some of this damage may become irreversible.
Right, exactly.
But there's one way out, the redemption arc. If Nikocado can pull off a 200-pound weight loss journey, he'll become more of an internet legend than he already is. But for the right reasons.
I mean, that's true.
And while it would certainly be good for his health, it might also be good for his bank account. The content could last for years. You can imagine the endless ups and downs to the story. So many clickbait and troll moments. So much drama that could be stirred up. Sure, he'll lose the feeders, haters, and those who just come for the food. But he would reach new people and find new fans in a bigger niche. And sure, he may lose some OnlyFans revenue, but he'll gain sponsorships and can create products.
I think that's accurate.
I'm very smart. I've outsmarted half you guys before you even born. I'm always 5 steps ahead of you. I know how it's gonna end, start, repeat.
Nikocado has said over and over again that this transformation has been planned since almost the beginning.
If that is the case, like, let's hypothetically speaking, let's say if this is actually true and he actually planned this, then, I mean, just wow. To do this to your body only to then reverse it for internet fame is probably the most dedication I've ever seen or heard, and will probably ever be for a career. So let's see if that is the case with Nicocado's situation. Let's see if in the next year or two he actually does something that we don't expect. Do I think this is what's gonna happen? I don't know. But hey, again, who am I to say anything? I'm no expert.
But here's the thing, you never quite know when he's trolling. Half the time he acts like he's in complete control, 2 steps ahead and could change any day that he wants. But the other half?
I'm on the edge of my weight. It is spiraling out of control. I guess it is food addiction too, but I don't want to admit that. I'm an idiot. I'm addicted to the food. I'm addicted to wasting money. I'm addicted to making money. I am not mentally well. I'm not okay.
I hate being fat. I hate it. I just want to be normal. I want to be able to just be normal.
It's like it's like a smoker. Like, they know they're not supposed to smoke, but they're gonna smoke. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, they know, but they're gonna. My health, my weight, is spiraling out of control. And
yeah, so it's such a contradiction with him. Like, there's so much contradiction with what he's saying about, oh, I can do this, this has been planned, and then on the next one he's like, yeah, I'm just losing the plot. It's like, he is such a wild card when it comes to this, and I guess that is probably why his fan base is also so just wild, because like, there is nothing that is consistent except from obviously the food intake that he does every single day.
I miss being skinny.
Is he addicted to food? Only Nikocado knows which version of events is the truth. And it is a lot harder to lose 200 pounds than it is to gain 200 pounds. And while change is never impossible, there is one huge obstacle Nikocado must overcome.
I know I should be eating better, but I don't want to change right now. I just...
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like,
you
would need to want change before it happens.
I don't want to change right now.
It's kind of like rehab for addicts. Like, it doesn't matter if you force into rehab, you'll probably relapse because it wasn't your choice in the first place.
I just...
He has to actually want to change.
Yep.
But if he can conquer that, I think he'd find a way to make his journey to health one of the most watched things on the internet.
No doubt.
And most importantly,
if he could, that would definitely be the case. I think that would be an absolute legendary story, and I think that would give inspiration to millions of people.
He can fucking do it. Whatever his faults are, he is clearly a dedicated man and a hustler. Nikocado knows what to do. It's just about taking that leap out of his comfort zone. Leave your comments below. Do you think Nick is about to start his redemption arc era? And if you do think he can do it, maybe leave him a comment encouraging him.
Yeah, do I think so? I don't know. I hope he does. I hope he does change his life and for the better. And I really do wish him the best, because at the end of the day, no one wants to see him fall too far to the other side where he can't return, you know. So, yeah. But that was a fun video, actually. Very formal, very, I wouldn't say educational, but it was informative, that's for sure. So, yeah. Listen, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos in the future. And I'll see you in the next one.